Cool. Hello and welcome to my first official video. I am going to just be explaining multiple ways you can display certain data. Well, two ways, I suppose. Not necessarily display, more like the types of things I'll be able to do with the data you might be providing me, or my company, I guess. So to start off, here's a simple bit of data, just a random set of comma-separated values. This is just assuming you've only got one sale a day kind of thing. And 10, I think there's 10 of them. 10 different sales representatives with 10 different sales, one sale per rep kind of thing. We've got the sales value in rands, dollars, whatever, doesn't really matter. Your margin percentage, your profit, and your date of sale. So this is a very simple, comma-separated or CSV dummy data that we're going to make use of. So starting off, here is Power BI. Power BI is quite powerful. It's not the only type of data visualization tool, but I'm going to be using it now. So I am using a stacked column chart. It's pretty simple. I just thought this was the easiest way to show this data specifically. So this is showing your profit, your sales, and your margin. Sales is in the dark blue, profit is in your light blue. You can kind of see your profit margin just based off this alone. And if you hover over it, you can see your margin there. In the tooltip, if you hover over each, it shows you your exact values. But you can get an idea that Jane Smith has your highest sales, and looking at the profits, also has one of the highest profit. Kind of in tying with, or very near tie with Bob Wilson. You can get an idea of your profit margins, how this person here, Mike Johnson, and even Sarah Miller, has a very close profit to your Jane Smith, even though his sales are not as high. So that is interesting information to see from this. Obviously, there's other types of charts you can make use of. Maybe a line graph to see an over time thing for each. So if you wanted to see, if you had multiple sales for Jane Smith and you wanted to see over the span of a year what their sales was, you could use a line chart. Similarly, there might be, if you wanted the same over like a 3-month period, you could do a there's like a I don't know what it's called, but you can show like 3 sets of bars per person to show over time. But I mean, really, you'd probably want to just do multiple single graphs rather than putting too much information on one sheet. But yeah, here's an example of a sales versus sales rep chart you can do with Power BI. So that is one example. Obviously, this is a normal, software for data display. So you can obviously just take it into any format. I'm pretty sure Google also. So Power BI is a Microsoft app. You can obviously also, not obviously, I'm pretty sure Google also has a very similar data representation tool. You can also do it inside things like Excel, inside Word, inside Sheets, inside whatever the word in Google is called. Pretty simple. Then another method is what I mentioned in introduction is the email report example and website. I'm going to do the website one first. So here's an example of the data displayed in a website. This is generated through a Java program. It's kind of self-generated, as in it literally just took this data and mapped it into an HTML. So the background is set to a certain style. You can just change the style according to whatever your website is. Yeah, very simple programming. This is a program that was written for any set of data, and it's just mapping, it's direct mapping according to the text file. Yeah, so here's a simple HTML, and what's lovely about HTML is most emails are in HTML. If you are only working with text-based, obviously you can just do transform this into a, sorry about the flashbacks, you can just transform the text file into a tag delimited kind of format and use that instead. The problem with plain text in an email is just that you won't be able to use bold or anything like that. It would literally just be plain text. There is a way to do it, but yeah, HTML is quite useful. Anyway, this is the one format. The other format is in an email like this. I don't know why, or I do know why. So Outlook has a feature to automatically switch your background to dark mode or light mode, and it is basically literally just switching the darker themes with the lighter themes, which means its dark mode is actually showing a light mode version. But obviously, if you wanted your report to be sent in an email individually, in an email, you would style it in light mode, and then your end user, your recipient, can then choose whether they want to view it in light mode or dark mode. So as an example, just flashbang warning of light mode and dark mode. Pretty simple. You can see it's kind of keeping with the same format as the website was showing, the website version was showing, with the bolded and column names and then your data. As I said, this is direct mapping, so whatever your data is written as, we can always transform that data, maybe showing an R at the beginning or whatever your currency is, and maybe, I don't know, % in another manner. So yeah, this is just a basic example of an email that you would be sending to your sales manager, as an example. You could also, if you had the email data of all your sales representatives, we could send an individual email in the same program as this, so where one email goes out to the manager, and then you have individual emails going out to your sales reps of their specific data. So David Brown would just receive the 3 columns and the 3 sets of data, and you can send this out daily. This really depends on where your data is stored. Say, for example, you use Sage Evolution, your backend is a SQL database. You can, schedule a task to pull the information at midnight every morning, and then have the report take that data and send it out at about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then that's an example. That's a running example of what I've done in the past. Obviously, this is dynamic. So if you have your database in some other manner, any cloud-based data, if you have credentials, if you've got, say, an API key that allows you to pull from some cloud source, maybe like Azure database or something like that, you could integrate it into a program and do the same. But yeah, this is just a quick and easy three ways you can represent that data and make use of it, and 3 ways my company can provide to display this data. This is not a how to do it. This is more of a what we can do with your data.